Mic on. Which mic? Okay. All right, and we're back. See that? Did you see that? Set change. Set change, baby. Set change.
I'm impressed.
Like, I mean, and all of that in like 3 minutes. That was like, we had so many Oompa Loompas running through here to make that happen. That's pretty fantastic. So, tonight we're just kind of playing. Obviously, we're still trying to figure everything out, but welcome back. If you didn't tune in Friday or Saturday, you didn't get a chance to see the Cultivate set that we're kind of starting to build out here. Yep. And Cultivate is really our place for women. Yeah. We wanted more men here, so we figured we better get more women here.
Okay.
So, we're good with that. No. Cultivate is actually your media brand.
It is my media brand. It's still in its infancy. It's actually still a little tinky winky little thought that is kind of being birthed. So
being pushed.
Pushed is a good one.
I think if it was up to you, you'd still have it as a little bitty media brand, and you would pet it, and you'd care of it, and you poke it. Oh, it's such a cute media brand.
Yes.
So
luckily, I have somebody that's persuading me or encouraging me or pushing me to do this.
Sorry. It's been the plan for a little while, and we are definitely moving forward. But really, Cultivate. We're still playing with some taglines here. We're getting the what's that? They're both cameras. They're both.
Yeah,
they're both cameras.
See that they're both cameras. Thank you. But which one is live?
They are both live at any given time.
Right.
But if you look over your shoulder, you'll see there you are.
So right there.
That's that one on the top now. Yeah.
Thank you.
So again, you can look straight into either one of them. Like if you want to make a point, I'd look straight into it and I'd shake my finger and I'd say, "Listen to what I'm saying," but you never really know what's going on. So, anyways, so Cultivate is our tagline that we're playing with right now and trying to get right. It's to inspire beauty, lifestyle, and grace.
And grace, right?
And again, we may play with the orders there, but why Cultivate?
Well, I mulled over a lot of different words, and I really like the word cultivate because it, and you know what, I'll read the definition for you. I'm sure you don't know what cultivate means. Right?
There is no sarcasm amongst our family.
No. To promote the growth or development of something.
It's pretty straightforward.
Yes, it's pretty straightforward. So, there's work that goes into cultivating. Let's say we just want to use a garden. So you have to plant the seeds, you have to cultivate the seed so that way it sprouts and then it grows. So I really like that term. And I like that term for helping women to grow into or discover, beauty and grace and lifestyle.
And I think it's interesting because I know for me, and I'll hear it once in a while, like beauty and grace I get, but why lifestyle?
Well, lifestyle is very important because, first of all, you came up with that term, so you should know why lifestyle. You actually added that term into it.
I did.
Mine was beauty and grace. You added lifestyle. You should really be explaining that.
Okay. Well, after many years of marriage, what I have figured out is that my wife appreciates a certain lifestyle.
Right. Yeah.
No?
Oh, I do.
Yeah, we all do. Let's face it.
Yeah.
We all want a certain lifestyle. It can be a little bit different for all of us. It can look different for anybody. And lifestyle is what people would how people would choose to live their life. That's how I'm looking at lifestyle. Is that people can choose. This is how I want to live. This is what I want to do. I want to be a painter. I want to be a sculptor. I want to be a writer. I want to be a this. I want to be a that. And I've found a way of, caring for my most basic needs. Because maybe maybe all I want is a single studio loft. As long as I can create, I'm good. And then there's going to be other people that are like, no, I want to travel the world, and that's good for them too. each person, some people want to express, others want to experience. And there's kind of like nothing, no wrong. Everybody gets to choose their own lifestyle. But I think that's kind of, for me, it's to inspire people to choose the lifestyle that they want to live and then to go about living it. To develop, if you will, the lifestyle that they would have for themselves.
Right. And I would agree with you that I definitely enjoy a certain lifestyle. I think what would enhance that is being able to have much more control over my time. How much time I spend every week at work, which I am so appreciative to have a job, but that's not maybe how I would spend 40 hours a week. So to be able to help women discover whatever it is that they want out of their life and to create their lifestyle, I think that is definitely a piece of Cultivate.
Now we'll talk a little bit about beauty, and then we'll come back and kind of go through all of these. But so beauty, right? The saying goes, "Beauty's only skin deep." But I think for what we're talking with Cultivate is beauty only begins at the skin.
That's true, definitely. And I got to read this definition to you because I thought that this was amazing. Do you ever look at the Urban Dictionary?
The Urban Dictionary?
Yeah.
I've on occasion.
Okay, so this is apparently what it looks like, and I don't know what this is. I go every once in a while, but it kind of looks like people submit their own definitions of things.
Okay.
And so this person submitted a definition for beauty that I thought was pretty amazing. It says, beauty is a thing seldom seen. It is held by all within the soul it lies, waiting to come out to the surface, but it can only be found if someone is sharing your soul with you. Beauty is suppressed by the evils of the world. Only love can bring beauty out. Once seen, beauty never hides again. Not even hatred can deny beauty of its true design. Beauty, although possessed by all, by few and fewer, yet will ever see one of the most beautiful sights, the beauty held by you. Somebody came up with that.
That is amazing.
That's a pretty
We'll
awesome definition.
Yeah, we're going to have to recapture that a little bit. I almost want to have you read it again.
Yeah, that's a beautiful definition of beauty.
So beauty, and now grace.
Grace. Well, first of all, I love the term grace because of the Christian definition of grace, God's definition of grace, how He bestows His grace upon us, and we're so undeserving of it. But it also represents a woman that is kind of effortlessly beautiful or effortlessly attractive, I guess. I don't know.
Let's go to a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to go through these a bit more.
Or what?
Huh? Just I want to kind of talk to you a little bit more. Yep. So let's go to a break, and we'll come back. I got to check on the cookies.
Is that why we're going
And
to gotta get check cookies.
just kill these the mics for a second. Mic is back on. And we are back. So, get to the right camera. One of the things I wanted to do, alright, so for those who just know what's going on, we were just kind of having some technical questions, and that was the reason for the quick switch there, and hopefully we'll have solved those. And what I'd like to do is actually have you read Beauty again. And there was something I had looked up the other day I wanted to share. So if you would, can you read that explanation? I don't know, you can't really call it a definition, expression. Will you read that expression of beauty?
Sure. And again, this is from the Urban Dictionary. It says that beauty is a thing seldom seen. It is held by all within the soul it lies, waiting to come out to the surface, but it can only be found if someone is sharing your soul with you. Beauty is suppressed by the evils of the world. Only love can bring beauty out. Once seen, beauty never hides again. Not even hatred can deny beauty of its true design. Beauty, although possessed by all, few and fewer yet will ever see one of the most beautiful sights, the beauty held by you.
And that, I think, speaks exactly to the beauty that you'd be trying to cultivate. And it's not, and here's what I would say that I'd want people to know is, it's not you trying to cultivate it, it's not me trying to cultivate it, it's us trying to create an atmosphere that allows people to grow. When I looked at the word cultivate and you go back to it, it's some of the obvious pieces. If you go to the etymology of it, it talks about tilling the soil, right? Tilling. And, you know, when you till the soil, yet you're working the soil, but it's still the soil that gives the seed life, right? It was what you did for the soil or with the soil, but it was still the soil that gave life, or the seed that gave life. And it's not that we're trying to sit there and say we have the answers, as much as we want to create the forum where these discussions can be had.
No, it's creating the environment where the seed, because if the seed is left on a table somewhere, it doesn't do anything. The seed has to be planted in rich soil, so that way it can grow.
Absolutely.
So that's what we're trying to create, is a rich environment so people can grow.
And the other
Women
piece
can grow.
To that part of cultivating the etymology, it's actually improved by training or education, which is...
Right, I read that too.
And that's it, right? Because on Cultivate, along with forums like we had last week where the ladies got together and you guys all had a chance to talk and share about motherhood together. Yep, those kind of events, but we're also going to be doing small business events. We're going to have Robin Taney will be with us, and she's going to be talking about PR for your business and how to use social media effectively. So it's not only personal insight and growth that you're going to be doing with Cultivate, it's actually the professional growth.
Right, so it's pretty well-rounded. So it's, personal growth, it's maybe some spiritual growth, and, definitely some growth in your business as well.
And when we come to, obviously there's a piece of this, which is a large piece of this, which is around your Rodan and Fields business, which is really the skincare piece. But I guess what we kind of would like people to know is that even in that brand, the Rodan and Fields brand, you hear people talking about create your own brand.
Right.
Go out, develop your own brand, because that's what you're going to have to do going forward in order to compete in this new social environment.
Right, and I just want to clarify that I'm not involved with the Rodan and Fields corporate side. I'm an independent consultant. So, I've bought basically the rights to sell their products, which I find to be absolutely amazing. And so it seems as though a lot of the consultants have kind of found their own niche and created their own brand and have become very successful at doing so. So I think that Cultivate will be many different things, including that brand for me.
So let me ask you. So now let's see how far you'd like to cultivate this conversation. What do you hope to get out of this?
Hope to get out of what specifically?
Develop and cultivate.
Well, you know what? I don't know if I can really answer that right now. I think right now I'm looking at it as, first of all, an adventure, a way to kind of sow into other people's lives and to improve their lives. So definitely, I think there's something that I would get out of that. I also see it as an avenue to promote, my Rodan and Fields business. And another way to, stay involved and to promote your business.
So, I'm just kind of thinking through some stuff here.
Mm-hmm.
I guess there's a piece here that says, is there more? I guess I kind of lost the concept of what I was looking for there. So one of the things that you hear me say once in a while, and we're going to be talking about when it comes to this new branding class that we're doing starting next week. And I was talking about people's personal mission statements.
Mm-hmm.
I know you have your personal mission.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have it available?
No, I don't.
No, okay.
I can't.
So
I was looking for it last night when we were talking about it, and I couldn't find it. I should have it memorized, but I don't.
Well, I think I've got it for you too. But yeah, so one of the things that you'll hear me ask on occasion is, like, at the end of your life, if there's that one sentence, that one phrase, that one word, that whatever it was that you wanted the world to hear, if that's the expression that your life left society, what would that be?
The one sentence?
And it's got to be...
I get it.
Yes.
I understand what you're asking. That's a tough one. But I don't know if I could formulate the sentence, but I could tell you some of the things that I would want in the sentence.
Okay.
And I think that I would want to, at the end of my life, at least say that I spent some of my life pursuing God's will for my life. And then, so that would be a piece of it. And then also making sure that obviously my kids and my family would be in there somewhere, being a positive role model for them and sowing into their lives, and then, seeing God's will for their life.
What I guess I'd have people know is that that's probably not so different than most people. That's probably what most people want for their lives. Most mothers will want for the relationships with their kids and for their own lives. Everybody's going to say it in their own words, and not everybody's going to say God's will, and somebody's going to have something else. But I think that's kind of the point, is we want to find like-minded people who kind of are thinking that way, simply like, you know what, I just really want to fulfill my purpose.
And you know what, I don't want to not do something in my life because I'm afraid to do it. I don't want fear to hold me back from doing things in my life that I would like to do. I think that this is a good example of that, because this is not something normally that I would feel comfortable doing, being in front of a camera. That's not my comfort zone, but I don't want to not do it because I'm afraid of it. So I want to pursue things, and I almost want to seek those things out that I'm afraid of.
So
because
in many ways,
as I continue to push through those boundaries, I find that I get more empowered to pursue more.
Because I think about it, the whole idea of cultivating, we're thinking through, being planted in the soil and then growing, and you think about that little, set of roots that are going down, and lots of roots. They're not taking necessarily the hardest way down because they got to find the easiest way to get what they need. Then all of a sudden, there's little stalk starts coming up, and that has a little more pressure. And it's like, as it grows, that pressure becomes more and more and more, and some will even grow through the concrete, right? Some will come through and push through that. And you're right, and they're deeply...
Yeah, it doesn't look like it's a very easy process to grow. It almost looks very painful.
Yeah.
For a seed that looks like it's nicely contained in its little capsule or whatever you want to call it, and then to actually have to push through itself and push through the soil and push through sometimes concrete and all of those other obstacles, and then still have success. that's not easy.
And how about the idea of like, how do you want to, how would you tell women that you feel about failure? About,
You know what? I've really learned to embrace failing and making mistakes, because it's only through mistakes and failing that you can actually learn. You don't learn through any other way. And the bigger mistakes you make, the more likely you are to not repeat those mistakes.
and it's I guess that's kind of the part of the environment that we're trying to talk about here for Cultivate is mistakes are mistakes. And if you want to grow and you want to learn and you want to become the leader of your own life or the leader of something greater or whatever that is that you want to become, embrace the mistake, but don't hold on to it. Don't sit there and when you've done something wrong, acknowledge it, learn from it, apologize, change from it, whatever it is. Just don't carry it with you anymore, and don't feel judged by it. Don't feel burdened by it.
You got to learn from it.
Learn from it and make the changes and move on.
Right.
And then literally let it go. Because once you've learned from it and you grasp it completely, there's no reason to carry that burden.
And I think that was probably one of my problems but one of those obstacles in my life that I am kind of pushing through as well, and that is actually making a decision. That for whatever reason I just had a problem making decisions. And so I don't know if it was I didn't want to commit to something or whatever it is. I just had a fear of making a decision because it might be the wrong one. So as you make more decisions, you start to realize, you might make some bad decisions, you might make some good decisions, but the bad ones can be corrected. And so that just makes things a little bit easier, and it kind of also speaks to that fear issue of kind of pushing through and overcoming. Even that seems like a small fear, but it's a fear nonetheless.
Now, I would say it's interesting because one of the things in cultivating, if we think through beauty, grace, lifestyle, that kind of thing, and now we're talking about decisions. It's interesting because when you get to the point of decision, you start talking about things like accountability. Those things that start to feel like four-letter words to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Right? And how do you bring in something that is not comfortable, that is not something everybody wants to embrace? How do you bring into a media brand where you're trying to create a safe environment, but one that's not necessarily always pleasant?
Well, I think the environment can always be comfortable. I think the situations that you are asking people to explore, maybe that's their own personal comfort level. So I think that it's important that people, or women in particular, because we're talking about a women's brand, that they understand that they're going to be, and if they want to grow, if they want to be cultivated, then those are areas that they have to accept as being uncomfortable. And I think over the past, probably 5 years, I've definitely grown a comfort level with being uncomfortable.
That's good stuff. Well, let's go to a break and come back. We'll continue this kind of conversation about being comfortable.
Uncomfortable.
Being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
All right. And I will get
Okay, audio's back on.
Audio is back on.
And we're gonna come back in.
So getting comfortable with the uncomfortable. So I've actually made, what we're going to do, we're going to play a little game here. Oh. Okay then.
What?
Thanks. Be right there. Okay.
What?
No. We're good. So. Oh, well, I can't tell you on air. It's like. Okay.
Where's Tori?
Tori's walking around here with the kids here.
Okay.
So yeah, we're gonna play a little game. I'm going to kind of read through a list of items, and I'm just gonna have you kind of respond like the first thing that comes to your heart. And this
Okay.
is kind of like the idea with being uncomfortable, being comfortable with being uncomfortable. So I'm going to read through a list of items that I feel you've done wrong in our marriage over the past 25 years.
Okay. I bet you my list is longer.
Yeah, I think it probably is. I think I think you're probably right, and just living with me has probably got you used to the idea of being comfortable with being uncomfortable. But so yeah, there's really no reason to believe in that fact. But really, what do you see Cultivate doing on a monthly basis? What kind of events are we thinking about right now? And
Well, definitely, and I can't remember. Did we say I was going to do something with the first Friday in June?
I don't think it was the first Friday. Well, first Friday kicks off Cultivate. Our
Right.
entire month
But not-
of June is Cultivate.
But not a show?
No. It's just kind of like our kickoff of Cultivate.
Okay, great. So definitely going to kick off Cultivate with the first Friday in June. Yes, so that's my plan.
We're going to have at least one show every month of Cultivate.
Yep.
And I know that you have some other ladies that you've been talking to who are going to be coming on. You're actually going to, you actually are going to explore this through different crafts. You're going to like.
What do you mean by crafts?
Well, like Rebecca and her work, and
Well,
like.
Well, that's one piece.
Right, exactly.
Right.
So you're actually, you kind of want to have a forum, another part of this, if you will, for ladies to kind of share what they enjoy doing beyond maybe their professional life, like to get a little insight into their hobbies and their, those kind of pieces, and then have some conversation with them beyond the hobbies, that kind of stuff.
Yes, so I see it more as like a variety, not a variety show, but a show with variety. So some real conversation about some real issues that all women face. It's my hope is that it will kind of touch a variety of women, single women, married women, mothers, those that aren't mothers, old women, young women. So I want it to be, something that everybody could watch and take something from.
And we'll definitely be having segments for the different,
Yes.
those different pieces, as well as kind of creating more definitive pieces.
Yeah.
To talk to each.
Yeah, I want to have some interesting conversations. I don't want it to be all fluff. I want it to be, some real conversations. I want to explore some issues about spirituality. I want to explore some topics that challenge different thoughts and stereotypes.
Do you have any examples that you're thinking about?
I do. They're written down at home, so not with me.
And you can't just recall them on a
No,
moment's
I
notice?
cannot.
Verbatim?
No, I cannot.
This is Verbum.
I know.
You should know these
I
words.
know. I read you something verbatim.
Okay. That's a good thing. So obviously there's going to be a lot more structure coming on, what's going on with it. But it is going to be fun, but it's going to be real. And I think, so last Friday, we kind of had all the ladies come on and really talk about their business a little bit, what it was
Yeah.
like to be an entrepreneur mom, what it was like to have their you know, how their motherhood actually affected their identity. But after the fact, you guys sat over there and had some of these conversations that you were talking about.
Oh, we had a pretty interesting conversation at the end of that show last week. I think that it was good in that everybody was willing to talk about a difficult topic. And that right there is half the battle, because some people will just kind of shut down right there if you get to a topic that is challenging. And, you know, given the right setting, you obviously can't have these types of conversations at work every day. But yeah, I thought it was good.
Yeah, but that's the great thing is we can have them here. And what we're seeing in some of these challenging discussions that we're talking about, and, you know, many women's issues that are within women themselves have very diverse opinions about these issues. And last week was a great example of an environment like where there was 3 to 4 different strong opinions about an issue represented at a table. And it wasn't like each person was trying to convince the other of their own, but more like they were strengthening their own resolve.
Yeah, I do think that conversation was that there wasn't. Yeah, I think you're right. That's a good way to put it. Without, you know, I think we're being very cryptic about what the topic was, so.
Well, I think it's not going to matter. I mean, we were talking about
a difficult conversation, yeah.
Right. I mean,
and the willingness to be open in an environment that, you know, you feel comfortable enough sharing it. And I think that's important for Cultivate, to be able to create that environment.
It's really, now we don't have to be cryptic. We were talking about a woman's choice, right? And as it relates to life, as far as that goes, what some of that came out as.
A piece of that, I thought you were talking about the other piece of the conversation.
Oh, no, that was a piece that I was thinking about. And, you know, definitely had very different opinions. But also, there were some challenging opinions because, you know, a couple women had this opinion about why they would change their lifestyle as soon as they found out that they were pregnant. You know, it's like because we're carrying life, but I still believe in a woman's choice. So it was interesting to see a group of women with very diverse backgrounds kind of work that out together. You know, and it wasn't some painful thing like we're condemning you or you're wrong for having this belief. And it was really like, okay, let's understand this, and we can, you know, still hold to our own beliefs, hold to our own values, or, you know, if you're saying something worth my consideration, maybe I should consider it.
Right. You know, I think it's really important to be able to have conversations with people where they don't feel like they're being judged or condemned for their opinions, even though you may not have the same opinion. And so I think that really kind of opens up an avenue for all kinds of different conversation. And I think that, you know, really not only just women in general, but I think our entire country could benefit from that in an environment where you could actually say something that maybe isn't politically correct without fear of, you know, being, you know, judged, judged and condemned.
That, as far as in society today, that's very common. Like to the whole point the discussion we were having earlier, like I could be wrong. It could be just another one of those mistakes. Yeah.
Okay.
It could be one of the 97% of the time that I am wrong.
I've never seen you be wrong.
97% of the time. And my opinion on this political matter may just be one of those 97% of the times. And I've just made yet another mistake in my life, and I learned. Because I do like the political discussion itself, because so many people have opinions that have been fostered through years of, well, it's my opinion, and then all of a sudden you're having discussions like you guys were having the other night, and they're going, well, that's not how I understand it, you know, and people go, but that is how it is. I mean, when you start getting into finance and whatnot. So, you know, like you're saying, politically correct discussions or just open, honest conversations. So what might we expect a Cultivate night to look like? as we're talking here, would we want it to sort of end with a good conversation that continues after the show? Are we looking at mostly business networking, or do we begin it with business networking, professional growth, and end with some sort of a topic?
I definitely would like to have business featured in every show, some type of business. And I would definitely like to feature certain segments of the market, whether it's, like the Asian market, or if it's, the Hispanic market, or if it's, whatever that market is. I want to feature that through the business section of the show. And then, I'm not quite sure what it would look like to have, one of those, I don't want to say awkward, but more challenging conversations on screen. So I think that we should experiment with that to see what that kind of looks like, because we don't want anything to come across to the viewer as, now they're offended, so.
Well, but if the viewer's offended, let them be offended.
Fair enough.
Right? Let them challenge their own thinking on that.
Right. Well, yeah, that's true.
That's part of that uncomfortable part of growth sometimes.
Right.
Like, how dare you say that? Like, sorry, I have an opinion. I have an opinion. You may have a different opinion, and let's talk. And if you're willing to talk through the difference of opinion, don't be annoyed that I'm willing to go 1,000 directions to defend my position, because that's where my life is taking me.
I really want to explore some of the traditions that we've had, traditions as they relate to women in the country. And I really want to explore those traditions through different generations. Like, I'd really like to have, an older woman, a middle-aged woman, a younger woman, maybe even somebody that's Tori's age, kind of talk about, where, they're thinking, well, that's really old-fashioned. And then having the person, but here's why it's good. And then kind of go through how the tradition, it has some good points and it has some bad points.
Yeah. It's fun. So, beyond the production nights that we're going to do here, you also are going to have a number of other events that your team is a part of out and about and around town. That is kind of the Team Cultivate issue. So that's going to actually be going on regularly. You're going to actually have events out in the community, 4 to 6 times a month almost, that are going on. So people can participate, other small businesses can participate in that. These are other networking opportunities, other places that you're going to be that you can bring your team to or whatnot. So you'll be getting a lot more of that information together.
Yes, I will.
You look like you're like, okay, this is uncomfortable. All right. What?
No, it's only uncomfortable because I don't think that I totally understand what you're talking about.
Whenever you guys are out at something with the Rochester Women's Magazine, those are nights out. Those are events that people
That's
can
what I
network
thought
at.
you were talking about, but I wasn't quite sure. So that's the uncomfortable vibe you were getting from me.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
That was an uncomfortable vibe. Yes, because he doesn't know what he's talking about. All right, well, what? What?
Seriously?
No. Tess wasn't here tonight because Tess was down. She is down. I think she's in Tampa. And she's probably dancing her way right now. They actually are doing the egghead socks.
What is? Oh, really?
What's that? Yeah. She's setting up as a vendor at this thing that she's doing down in Tampa. But she really likes the actual event itself because at the end, like at night, apparently all the people get together and they go dancing and have a good time.
That's so much fun.
Yeah, she said that it's one of her favorite things to do. But I know that Tess and Amanda are both expressed interest in kind of being involved with Cultivate and figuring out where it can go from there. So we may actually start to see that this is more than one show. In fact, we kind of already know it's going to be. It's more of just a connection. So people like, women in the community who kind of have the same kind of heart and they want to kind of have their own voice, they can kind of come on under that Cultivate brand, and you're really creating a, a network. It's a social media network is a way of looking at it. And people may not quite understand that, but that's what you're really doing here. You're saying, you know what? You've got a bunch of women in the business, in the marketplace that have some really sound opinions that need to be heard. And while you're going to start with one event each month, other women are welcome to come in with their angle, as long as it kind of still fits under the guidelines of Cultivate, which is the beauty, grace, and lifestyle. And that's very, very broad. Today I had a lady talking about health and wellness, right? So obviously health and wellness is a part of lifestyle.
Yeah.
So she could come in and do an entire show about health and wellness, and that would fall under the Cultivate brand,
Yeah.
right? So it's women who are networking. It's not only women, but it's kind of led by women, run by women, about women, and that kind of stuff. It's not that you're excluding men completely. It's not like the He-Man, She-Man, Women's Hater Club from
Not
the
totally.
Rascals. No. That's just the opposite, isn't it?
I don't remember.
The Little Rascals?
Well, I remember the Little Rascals. I don't remember it.
Their club?
Like no women allowed?
Yeah.
No girls allowed?
No girls allowed.
Yeah.
Right.
But Cultivate is actually you allow boys.
Well, here you are.
I am here because you
Yeah.
didn't want to do this alone.
No. I
And that's actually not the reason she's here. I'm like, honey, Tess is out of town. Will you come fill in? She said, yep. She's like, I don't know what we're going to talk about. I'm like, don't worry about it. It's all good.
There's no replacing Tess.
There's no replacing Tess.
No.
There's no attempt to
No.
replace Tess. So tonight was really just a sit-down conversation, kind of flesh out a little bit about what Cultivate was.
Yeah.
And we're doing more and more of these shows as we launch shows so people can get the introduction to it as it comes. We'll have certainly a lot more detail, outline what's going to be happening by June 1st. June 5th, first Friday. And all of June is going to be about Cultivate. So I'd really like to have a lot of connections. Even our shows are going to be in support of Cultivate. Real Talk 360, they can kind of play along to the degree that they want. But Afternoon Cocktail kicks off again. She's bringing in a tattoo artist, female tattoo artist. So there's going to be a lot of stuff that we're going to be doing over the next 5 to 6 weeks. And
Hopefully I will have a logo by then.
Who's responsible for the logo?
Not you. Me.
Is it done?
No, I'm going to get it done though.
You know what it has to look like, right? I already have it designed in my head.
I can't even.
I've
I know what it's going to look like.
exactly. Whatever I
We don't
determine
know.
is the
No,
final
no.
logo.
You're not hijacking my logo.
Where does the orange dot go?
Why does the orange dot need to? It's right there.
The orange dot has to go in every logo.
Is it in 360?
Don't go there on me. It's just, it will be in 360 somewhere. We just
Well,
have
if I
to.
have to incorporate an orange dot, then I'll figure it out.
What is an orange dot?
An orange dot. A dot that's orange.
What's the difference between saying an orange dot and an orange dot? Well, I don't know. It's kind of like, hey, I got a guy, right? I got a guy. You're like, orange.
Well, it's Udicci orange.
Udicci orange. And Tag is here. Tag is here now.
Tag is here.
Howdy,
Hi, Tag.
howdy. So, all right, well, we'll go ahead and just kind of sign off here. And we're a few minutes early tonight. That's okay. Because we got a little change around. Oh, you want to talk some more?
I don't know.
All right,
Why not?
well, we'll take.
the media computer turned on for them.
What's that?
We gotta turn on the media computer for them. I forgot about the video.
Oh, it's not on? I didn't turn it off today.
It wasn't ever on. Oh.
Yeah, it was.
It's on. Okay.
It's on.
Okay, never mind.
All right, well, we'll take a break then. We'll come back and Shine will continue the conversation.
No.
Yep.
We can just
No,
end. We're done.
no, we're not
we're
done.
done.
No, we're coming back.
I'm done.
We're coming back.
I'm done.
Back.
You got your wipe on as a guest?
Yeah.